Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Monday the 6th of June 2022. It's a pleasure to be here, viewers, on this Monday night. We had a lot of rain over the weekend. There was a lot of rain today in some places throughout Trinidad and Tobago, flood as the case may be. But nevertheless, we give God thanks that we are alive, we are healthy, we are breathing, we are working. So viewers, remember as we start off our program tonight, we are also live on Real Talk with Saieed Ali Facebook page. So you can like and share the page. We are also on YouTube. TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live, viewers. So those of you of the Caribbean, around the globe, a special good night to you. Share our Facebook stream, like and share us on YouTube also. So as we start off our program tonight, the Ministry of Education is awaiting the arrival of 7,000 more laptops, which will be distributed to students who have been selected using ministry means test. Don't you think it is a little too late? Don't you think it is a little too late, viewers? The ministry is expecting the device to be delivered in July 2022. Director of the newly established Education Technology Unit, Ms. Fortune Johnson, states that the system will be rolled out on a phased basis, and the system currently targeted is 7,000 students and 100 teachers in 14 schools. Minister of Education Dr. Nian Gasby-Dolly has added that digital school records are pivotal to the ministry effort for blended education system. So they waited for school to start back. You are in school. All those hundreds of millions of dollars they gave away while the pandemic was going on, they could have used that money to give the 67,000 students that were in need of laptops during the pandemic when they were home. But no, Trinidad and Tobago, they decided, you know what? We're going to spend a couple million here, we're going to throw a couple million there, we're going to come down on this side and we're going to pelt down a couple million here. And that's how it went. It's Mash Up Monday tonight. 238-6716 is the number to call in, viewers. We are live on Synergy Network from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday with a rerun the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Remember, our Real Talk Group of Company head office is on number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. There's a big sign in front of the building. It's a 3-story tile front building. You can't miss it. You can't miss it, viewers. Oh, and remember, viewers, if you're looking for cash borrow, let's just say to finance a vehicle, or you're looking for a little personal loan, but you have your collateral, you have security, contact us at 238-6716 or 339-1670. Remember, Saieed Ali is a licensed money lender. I am the managing director of Real Talk Group of Companies and Real Talk Finance. We also have our South office on number 132 Victoria Village in San Fernando. They open from 8:30 to 4 p.m. Their contact number at 242-7690. The South office number is 242-7690. Remember, that's a South office. You could go in, apply for a loan, but it is only being granted in Shogunas, our head office. Remember, that is a sub-office down there. But nevertheless, call a good night.
Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead, my dear. You're live on Real Talk.
Thanks. Saeed, the first thing I want to do is to wish Mr. Pandey a belated happy birthday. That was the best prime minister we had in this country.
Thus far, yes.
He helped poor people. And you know why? You know why they vote Mrs. Prasad Bissessa? Because they got free laptops and they didn't have to pay land and building taxes. How smart the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is. Right? Sorry. I'm so mad that I'm forgetting my grammar, but excuse me.
It's okay, it's okay.
The next thing, Saeed, I want to highlight is the behavior of Mrs. Regis, Mrs. Prasad Bissessa.
Hey, caller.
This was the most deplorable thing.
Hold on right there. Hold on right there, caller. For Trinidad and Tobago, over the weekend, there was a back and forth with two prominent individuals in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. It was disgusting. Caller, continue.
And for our young people, our young women, to see this behavior of two mature women.
Yes.
What's wrong with the lady's name? Her parents named her that. Respect it. What is wrong with her name? When you name your children, that is what you want your children to carry through their lives. Respect it. Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, no way Robinson Regis could put her foot in her shoes. That lady is a respectable lady. She's an intelligent woman. She's a highly qualified lady in this country. I mean, when she was Prime Minister, this thing that she, as Minister of Education, when she abolished the cutting those children's tails, the corporal punishment, I didn't agree with her. But we all disagree to agree. Not everybody will do something that you will agree with. But when coming to respecting Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, nobody should make a mockery out of that lady. And she should not belittle herself to answer Regis. Because Regis don't work it. Regis is qualified as her. And Regis do nothing for this country.
Correct.
All the time PNM there. Saieed, let me tell you, people is what have this country separated. You hear? With race. It was from inception. You won't know because probably you weren't even born yet. You hear? But I've been around since the inception of PNM. And it started with Eric Williams. Down the middle. This side is Indian, that side is African. You understand?
Yes.
That is how this country been running. For years, Saieed. You hear? Because when he was going up for election and he realized that the DLP, the population was more than the PNM population, he opened the doors to all the Vincentians and Grenadians to come here to get votes. You didn't have to be no electoral area to vote.
True.
You could have just vote. And that is how Eric Williams ran. PNM always have this country under siege. Separation. Everything from inception to now, it is still happening inside. But behavior that Regis was the most deplorable thing for our young people to see. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Let me tell you something. For a past Prime Minister and for a present MP, it is disgusting. It is degrading. It is stink. It is downright to know that two prominent individuals, one is a leader of the opposition and the other one is a minister in the present ruling party. Let me tell you something. It's a stinking shame and disgrace that these two females, Camille Robinson Regis and the former Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, could get in a name calling tit for tat kind of attitude that would be dividing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago into race. It is this, well, let me tell you something. It had nothing more disgusting than that. Serious. We thought our Prime Minister was bad. Let me tell you something. Them two ladies is a disgrace to Trinidad and Tobago now. It's a stinking disgrace. That is how I see it. One as a leader, the other one, they're presently in power. What is the name calling about? What is the division about? Both of all are eating dal and rice in Trinidad. Both of all are driving on the stinking bad road we have. Both of all are collecting government salaries. And that is how you all behave. When you all have media briefing and conference, that is the type of behavior you all carry about yourself with. And you know, for ladies of Trinidad and Tobago, hey, where is the ladies' arms of Trinidad and Tobago? Where are they? We ain't hearing them. Two prominent ladies representing Trinidad and Tobago, and they are engaged in a battle of name calling. When they're supposed to be representing Trinidad, when they're supposed to be representing the females in Trinidad, the businesswomen in Trinidad, being a role model for the young females and them coming up in society, these two of them bickering like if they ain't standard one. Tit for tat, name calling, who name better than who, and where this one get name and where that one get name. It's a stinking disgrace. It's a stinking disgrace for Trinidad and Tobago. It's so shameful, boy. I can't believe that. Serious. I could not believe when I saw this. But nevertheless, them carrying the bad name. The Minister of Education, Dr. Nyan Gasby Dolly, have stated that a heavy police presence have been implemented in schools identified by the ministry as having highest instance of violence. Assistant Commissioner of Police Sharon Gomez Cooper also added that the police present at school have helped reduce incidents. Gomez Cooper added that because of children's violent behavior at school, there were police patrol during the morning and evening period.
What we recognize is that because of the children's violent behavior at the schools, we saw that there was a need to definitely partner with the Ministry of Education. We have patrols during the peak hours during the course of the morning before school starts. The police, they are there at the schools that were identified. They are there, they would be stationary for a while, and then they would go into the schools, drive around, make sure everything is okay, speak with the liaison officer. If there's need to speak with anyone else, they would come back out, and on evenings they would also pay attention to those said schools. So as Dr. Smith said, recognize that the violence in the schools are down to almost zero.
Let me tell you something. Until somebody died in a school battle, then the ministry, they wouldn't get serious. Look at Williamville. Look what happened. All I saw the video with Williamville students fighting today. One of the students actually had a blade in her hand and slashed the other one. You all saw that? It's circulating on social media. It's a disgrace. It's a stinking disgrace to know this is the school system we have. And the principal and the dean of the school, what they're doing. The Ministry of Education moving late. They're moving like Anthony Garcia. Today, tomorrow. You think that business about what happened to your daughter or son in school? She said that TTPS also extend their intentions to host lecture with students and assist them in their transition from primary school to secondary school. Meanwhile, Gasby Dolly stated that while the ministry initially intended to have police officers posted at the school, it has since modified the approach. She noted that the officers became like guards And in order to maintain the distance between the school security and the police service, there were regular patrols and on-calls availability at schools.
Discussion with the police, we have modified the approach so that they are not posted at the school, because what has been noticed in some cases before, when police become posted at the school, it presents a bit of a problem in terms of, one, accommodation for the police, two, a lot of things just suddenly are now the responsibility of the police. The police become almost like the guards at the school. So in order to maintain that distance between the school and the police service, what has been augmented is regular patrols at the schools and the on-call availability of the police at schools, the police lectures and so on. So the police presence is heavy at the schools, but they are not actually posted there. And that has been the modification in the schools that require our regular support. We are not calling them the high-risk schools.
You all enjoy that little video clip? You all enjoy that? Let me tell you something, that is totally waste of time. That modification is totally waste of time. You're taking the police off the streets to put them in schools. And they're working a little distance from the security guard. Waste of time. Waste of time. When a fight takes place in school, let me tell you how they used to do long time in school. I grew up in schools in the days when you hear you go to school and you hear cause a bacchanal in school. Watch me, the principal. They're holding your pants here and they're wringing it. Until the pants become tight on you, like it's a tight you put on. And they're wailing your butt with a tambourine whip. That is the time we pass through. I passed through those times. Now, the principal do business, the teacher do business, the security guard do business, nobody in business. Somebody from the police service say, using corporal punishment in school? No, we don't want that. When your daughter or son go in school and somebody bust their head, you go tell me about corporal punishment. You see, in school, you need to discipline them from that age. From primary school, secondary school. And they will grow up with a proper discipline. And they will be upright students. But when you go in school and you fight and you become a bad boy and they got a name in school, what do you think you're coming out of school with? Candy in your mouth? No, you're coming out of school with a bad boy rank. And when you meet real bad boy out and you get gunned down now, what happened? If you behave yourself in school. So Gatsby Dolly, your modification, let me tell you something, it worth nonsense. That is what it worth. It ain't worth a penny in this time. Williamville School. Student, slash a student face. Blood dripping in the video. And you're actually seeing where the other student had a knife in her hand. You're literally seeing it. And I heard that the ministry want to work now on a demerit point system in school. Children, son and daughter get batter, boss head, stab up, and you want to work on demerit point system where you feel you're driving a car in school? We need discipline. That is what we need. We need proper punishment in school. Otherwise it will continue. Why you think we have a wayward society? Why you think we have an undisciplined school? Some school in Trinidad and Tobago is so upright and proper. Then again, some of them, you wish the school never exists. Are you think it easy? Anyhow, at the end of the day, each minister government, the minister government, they collecting a big salary. When the month up, what happened to your kids? Die all your business. Die all your business. Now, let me tell you something. Hey. There's a saying that the old folks used to say, monkey know which branch to jump on. They know which branch to jump on. So moving along now, local government councillor for Manaham Reform, Chris Hussein, has accused government of willfully neglecting and geographic discrimination. He is now pleading with the Ministry of Works and Transport for the necessary dredging and cleaning of water course to mitigate flooding. Hussein stated that the regional corporation is under-resourced to handle major projects like the one required to solve flooding in Reform Manahambri. Hence the need for the central government to step in. He also noted that his calls for the relevant authority to take advantage of the dry season to sort out the flooding situation in the area fell on deaf ear. So because of this, viewers, we took the opportunity to contact the Councillor for Reform Manahambri, Chris Arshad Hussein. So good night, Councillor.
Good night, Saeed, and good night to everybody viewing. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I know he's a busy a young councillor. So here's I have one question for you. Can you tell us what is being done in your area, given the recent flooding and rainfall taking place over the last couple of days and over the last couple of months?
Well, Saeed, if you're asking me what is being done in my area by the government, the simple answer is absolutely nothing. You know, just this morning I was having a conversation with another reporter, and they were asking, you know, what about, how exactly does it work? And I said, listen, every year, it's like we're repeating the same sickening cycle. I would make the representation, I will ask the ministry, we write to the minister, we bring it up in our regional coordinating meetings. We ask them to clear these water courses, dredge, do the necessary drainage works when we have the dry season. And then they ignore us. And then the floods come. And then the residents lose thousands of dollars in their personal items. So every year you have these people and they stand to lose thousands of dollars. So it's a cycle that just keeps continuing each year, and it is all because of government neglect. So now, you know, I am left to wonder, or I am left to conclude, that this has to be some level of spite. Because, you know, the government, they do not enjoy any sort of political advantage in our area. They don't enjoy that support. So I think it's about spite, it's about malice, and it is clear geographic discrimination. And I think it's very unfortunate to those citizens in my area who pay in taxes to the government on a daily basis, and they cannot get bang for their buck. Because this is something very simple that they are asking for, to live in comfort. And every rainy season, they have to live thinking every time the sky gets a little dark, you know, they're wondering if they're going to get flooded and all of that. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
Now, Chris, what is the simplest way that you would have seen as a councillor to alleviate flooding in your community? The simplest way.
Well, Saeed, what we face in the communities within my district, it's really riverine flooding. So that's when the rain falls and the rivers and the tributaries burst its banks, it overflows. What needs to be done is that they need to have the equipment to clear and dredge and do the necessary maintenance work on these water courses so that we don't have this problem every time it rains. That needs to be done by the Ministry of Works Drainage Division. It is their responsibility. Now, I'm not saying that the regional corporation is not willing. The Princeton Regional Corporation is more than willing to do it. But we do not have the resources, we do not have the funding, we do not have that type of power or that type of, you know, we don't have it within us. And that is something as well where I think the real local government reform could play a very big role. But I mean, it's all talk, it's just a talk shop, and the government continues to pay lip service to local government. And they treat local government like a bastard child in this country. It's very unfortunate.
Now, before we go, Chris, the local government minister is Faris Al-Rawi. Do you believe he can get the job done for local government coming to clearing the flooding zones in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I mean, if he can get the job done, it's yet to be seen. I noticed that the minister is visiting each of these corporations and they're taking a lot of photos and so on. But yet still, we still see on a daily basis places like down in Pinal, in my area, in Reform and Harmony Hall, they're flooded out. So, I mean, yes, you want to visit these areas, but when you do so, very respectfully to the Honourable Minister, listen to the complaints, and you have that authority as a cabinet minister to do something about it. It cannot be in good conscience that you see what these people go through, you hear their stories, and then, you know, you turn a blind eye towards it. So if the minister has it in him, I think this is a good opportunity for him to prove himself and really lobby the resources in order to have these issues addressed.
Well, Chris, I do want to thank you tonight for joining us to highlight the Reform Manahambri, the problems that you are going through there with the flooding area. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Good night.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, that was the the young councillor for the Reform Manahambri area. The flooding in his area is terrible. It is terrible. So we want to hear now from Faraz Al-Rawi, the local government minister now in charge of these things. So we'll try to get in touch with him, hopefully for our Wednesday night show, and let's hear what he has to tell us. So as we move on tonight, viewers, the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, stated that applications for permit for the use of pepper spray will be processed during this month. Hines confirmed this while replying to queries filed by UNC Oropuch West MP Dave Tanku on the Firearm Amendment Act, which was assented to on July 6, 2021. He stated that the granting of application for a permit for the use of pepper spray was delayed due to the temporary suspension of the operation of the firearm permit unit of the TTPS. However, Hines noted that applications for a permit for the use of pepper spray will be processed during June 2020 and will be fully implemented in July 2022. Listen to this.
The full operationalization of the Firearms Amendment Act 2021 to facilitate the granting of applications for permits for the use of pepper spray was delayed due to the temporary suspension of the operations of the Firearms Permit Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. However, I am advised by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service that applications for permits for the use of pepper spray will be processed during this month, June 2022, and as such, it is expected that the Act will be fully implemented in July of 2022.
Remember, viewers, Real Talk was the one who hammered the former attorney for Trinidad and Tobago, Faraz Al-Rawi, for pepper spray legislation and for the license to use pepper spray. Remember, it was we who did it. We did it. When others didn't care about what sort of device or what sort of protection females would have had when they were outside, Real Talk was the one who got up and hammered it. We got up and hammered it, and I want to thank the former AG, Faraz Al-Rawi, for listening to our cry and listening to our plea. He brought the legislation, he brought the amendments, and they did it in the House, and we congratulated him in public. I mean, we gave him jacket, even though he's the former. I still thank him for that. So viewers, we have somebody online. Caller, good night.
Good night, Said. I would like to congratulate that councillor outside. He said it, he called it like it is, and that is exactly what is happening. You see areas that, that they are opposition representation, this government blatantly, discriminate against them. And you see this whole issue, I think there's a diversionary tactic. You see, something must start some way. Camille Robinson Regis could have said, the member of parliament for Superior or the opposition leader. Why is it, with this name calling, it started there, and Kamala Prasad Desai merely respond to that, I am not saying now, if it never started, this would not have been like it. But, what is the troubling thing? People concerned with the minute aspect. There is something bigger there. Yes. There is something much bigger there. People talking about racism. I recall some time ago, somebody, I think Ramshaw, some relative made a statement. Oh God, and there was a big hullabaloo about it. When we talk about discrimination, I say nothing is wrong. What about the government who practicing racism and discrimination? Those who those who perpetrated the act of discrimination and racism, why they are not being condemned? Not who talk, but who actually is doing. It's like somebody talking, I'm going to kill you. Should he be penalized more than a person who actually killed you? And that is what is happening in society. You know, the government is getting away. You know, if you do an audit, a comprehensive audit, and look at the expenses of this government for the last 7 years, you would be shocked to know what the kind of exorbitant spending and why I'm spending and who got what and whatever. This is what the country must focus on, not the foolishness between Camille Robinson. You know, I'm scared to know what would happen to our youths in a few years. Correct. When you eat out everything you have in our reserve, what is there for the children? And this massive borrowing that they've done, by that time they're going to demit office, some of them may die. This is the issues that we must take into consideration, not the foolishness who call who name. These are the underlying issues. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we have some persons of interest for tonight. Darian Stanley, would you please get in touch with me? 339-1670 or 238-6716. We have Josh and Davy Mohammed. You guys are supposed to come by me, but you're delaying and you're delaying and you're delaying. Please get in contact with me or call my office tomorrow. I'll come by. Hey, that is Davy. This is Josh and Davy. We're looking for Darian Stanley. Get in contact with me, Darian. You fulfill part of your business. Let's do the next half. And I'm looking for Nicholas. Person of interest. Nicholas, viewers, if I tell you what this man did, me and this man was almost good, you know. But Nicholas, get in touch with man. Stop the games. And we're going to deal with it. The public won't have to know what you do. And I'm looking for, I just forgot to upload the picture of these Hema Lal and Devnarayan Lal of Monroe Road, Konopia. Would you get in touch with Saeed, please? Me? I really don't want to tell the public what Hema said to one of my loan officer. I don't want to say it yet. But Hema, would you please get in touch with me tomorrow? 238-6716 or 339-1670. Let me tell you something. Realtor Group of companies have been around for a long time, you know. It's just now I have decided. Now I have decided to raise it up. Now I have decided to do that, but we've been around a long time now. Remember, viewers. Remember, those of you who are looking for 3.5%, you could still get it, you know. You could still get it. Even though we don't advertise it, you could still get it. If you're looking for cash, remember I'm a licensed money lender. Feel free to contact me 339-1670 or call my office 238-6716. Set up an appointment and we will sit and have a discussion. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead. Yes?
A transformer blow on the post. The T&Tech post.
T&Tech post, okay.
Yeah, the one we talk about Friday.
Yes.
So they came and fixed that one.
They came and fixed it?
No, they fixed the transformer.
The transformer, okay.
Not the linen post.
So wait, they come and they notice the linen pole, fix that transformer and forget the linen pole?
Yeah.
Here what to do? Get somebody to snap a picture and send it for me.
No problem.
Thank you, my friend. Moving along, viewers, we have some goodies in the basket. It's Mashup Monday. Minister of Finance, Colin Member, have stated that no matter what the government and union agrees on, or what they agree to, an increase in wage, the state will have to borrow money to pay the resulting back pay. So I ask myself, the government in power 7 years now, and they did not think about paying the back pay. It is also possible that loans will be needed to cover the increased wages. Now I will tell you something. When the present administration got into power, they didn't have a problem increasing their salary and increasing their pension plan. They didn't business whether the treasury had money or not. They didn't have a problem if they had to take a loan, but they did it. They did it. They did business. Good. That's one example. Number two, during the pandemic recently Colin Imbert and the Prime Minister, they were giving away money. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Didn't you remember that? Or you all fall asleep? Or you're opening your fridge? A couple months back into the pandemic, how much hotel got money? How much hundreds of million dollars it mounted up to? Will you forget that, Trinidad? No, don't sleep away. Don't sleep away. Imbert stated that even if the union accept the government initial offer of 2% over an 8-year period, the government would have to borrow money to finance that. The union have rejected the offer and will meet with the chief personnel officer, that's the CPO, from June 10 to 24th. Imbert stressed that this government has been running a deficit budget since 2009. Listen to this and we'll go talk after.
Whatever back pay that has to be paid, we'll have to borrow. And again, I want to stress that point. We are running a deficit budget. We have been running a deficit budget in Trinidad and Tobago now for the last, since 2009, as far as I can recall. So if you take all those years together, 12, 13 years, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has been running a deficit budget since the crash, the global financial crisis of 2007, 2008.
You all just listen to what the finance minister have to say, Colin Imbert. Since 2009, with the financial crash, how much money did Trinidad negotiate with contracts from 2009 to 2022? How much millions of dollars that the government had to pay out? But Colin Imbert talking about financial crash. About 2 years back, Colin Imbert in the House of Representatives told the Parliament and told the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that we are in a boom. All remember that? You all remember that? So if we are in a boom as of, let's say, 2 or 3 years back, how come you're in a financial crisis since 2009? Colin, are you trying to mama guide the citizens, or are you trying to take us for some dummies? Hence the reason why God have appointed people like Saieed to make sure I don't have to ask Tom, Dick and Harry to fund my program. Because, watch me, in the pandemic, my show, oh God, Synergy man has said, man, let her long so. About long so, tell them, well, you know, Saieed was nice, you know, having you on the platform, but we regret to announce that, you know, you will have to depart. Because, what? I'm begging for funding and me again. And they say it brave too. I'm begging. I thank God for that. But going back to Colin, about 2 or 3 years, I see if I get the video where Colin say, we was in a boom. Ask Jove, I don't know how Jove label it. We in a boom. Man, I'm speaking, the economy is turning around. All remember that? Now we're in a financial crisis. Hundreds of millions of dollars a couple of months back for COVID. Hotels throughout Trinidad and Tobago was getting hundreds of millions of dollars, and they didn't have money to buy laptop for children to go online. Imagine that, eh? All I want the truth is real talk, all I getting. All I getting the truth, all I getting real talk, all I getting facts. He added that the country has been borrowing since then. And any back pay, regardless of the amount, will have to be funded by a loan. Imbert stated that whether the back pay is the government will have to borrow. He added that there is no pot of money that the government can just dip their hands in and pull out the back pay. Hold on, Director. Them ain't had no money, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen this carefully. Them ain't had no money to dip in and pull out the back pay. But they could have spent hundreds of millions of dollars giving hotels to paint over and to brighten up. They could build I remember the Sandals project. I remember the Prime Minister said they would fund a project of $1 billion. How long back that was? About 2 years back? About 2 years back. $1 billion. Keith, where that money come from that you was funded? Where that $1 billion went? $1 billion come out the Heritage and Stabilization Fund and we know where it gone. And then Colin Member wants to talk. Colin, let me tell you something. You could bump your lip as much as you want. You're not fooling Saieed. At all. Because I will open the ears and the eyes of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, even the one who vote for all and having a problem now buying dal and rice. So take a look at this video.
$1 billion, $2 billion, whatever, it's going to be a large number. We will have to borrow that. So I just want you to understand the paradigm. There's no pot of money that we could just dip our hand in and pull out the back pay. Because we are running a deficit budget and because that back pay will go as an expenditure item, it will increase the amount of government expenditure and therefore will have to be borrowed because we run a deficit budget. Okay?
Trinidad and Tobago, it's easy now. It's easy now. I remember the Sandals project, $1 billion. The Prime Minister said, we are going to fund the project with the Sandals Hotel in Tobago and it's going to cost us approximately $1 billion. Where was that $1 billion coming from, Keith Rowley? Come out and tell the nation now. Come out and tell the nation. All of us going to take a loan for that? Well, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, in addressing the issue of affording to pay, back pay, on May 22nd, stated that an increase would increase the country's financial burden. The PM stated that a 4% increase will cost a back pay of $1.45 billion together. Additional $730 million a year. He questioned, is that sustainable? Listen to this.
The Minister of Finance offered, through the CPO, 1+1. There are 2 periods, right? 1+1. Let's tonight here, just double that and go 2+2. Right? That's 4%. That will cost a back pay of $1.45 billion. If that's all that we do. And of course, an additional $730 million a year going forward. Because once you change the pay, there's a permanent increase going forward. There's the back pay as one pay for the older period and for the new period going forward. Question is that sustainable?
Where you always getting the $1 billion to fund the Sandals project? That is a question Mr. Keith Rowley and Colin Member needs to come clear now with Trinidad and Tobago and tell the citizens where were you all getting that $1 billion to fund that project from? Come out and tell us. All they had money to give away to hotels throughout Trinidad and Tobago to paint up and brighten up. But all they didn't have money to buy laptops for the students. I'm going to tell you something. It's only the facts I bring into all you Trinidadians, Tobagonians, viewers of Real Talk with Saieed Ali, throughout the world. It's only the facts I am bringing. I ain't bringing no lip sync thing here and make up stories, and it's only the facts I bring into all you. And you all seen it. You all seen it. Now, one would say, oh, Saieed, you're only bashing the UNC, you're bashing the PNM. It's not about bashing, I always say that. It's about holding. It's about holding those in authority responsible. That it is what about. It is about that. Making sure we road fix, making sure we bridge fix, making sure the school feeding program running, making sure TTPS have proper gears, making sure the fire service have gears, making sure that the school is repaired, making sure the teachers getting their salary. It is making sure of a lot of things. Oh, where we getting the money from? Where you was getting the money from to fund Standard Project? That is a question you need to answer. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Where they got the money to increase their salary?
Did they? You done?
Yes.
Thank you. The government has agreed to cut funding to the University of West Indies, UWI, St. Augustine campus by 10%. While the campus finds other ways to address financial shortage. Finance Minister Colin Members stated that the ministry was faced with the challenges with the St. Augustine campus. Now, they continue to ask for large sum of money. He said there was also the government assistance for tuition expense program, GATE, funding with a 200 million additional. Listen to this.
We have been faced with a challenge with the St. Augustine campus continuing to ask us for large sums of money. Before I came here, I just double-checked how much money we spend. We spend somewhere in the vicinity of $500 million a year as a country, Trinidad and Tobago. That's our direct contribution to the university. And then you have to add GATE funding to that. And I would say at least $200 million in addition to that 500 is spent on tuition, on GATE. So you're talking $700 million. It could be more. I'm using wrong numbers and I'm being conservative. You're talking $700 million thereabouts that the country, Trinidad and Tobago, spends on the university every single year.
I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. You see, management is a serious thing in any country, you know. Management is a very serious thing in any country, you know. If a group of people do not have a vision and they don't know about proper management, any and everything will break down, you know. Any and everything will break down, you know. Heritage Petroleum declared millions of dollars in profit, while Petrotrin and Refinery couldn't make no money. Look at Guyana. Look how good Guyana getting. Guyana getting so good that they reduce their gas price. Barbados getting so good till they reduce their gas price. Trinidad getting so bad till we increase the gas price. Let's talk now. Imwood said, chairman of the UWI Grants Committee, he was charged with hearing from the university on how it's planned to raise funds and meet its financial arrangement. He added that while the government could not direct the campus on how to run its affairs, it was suggested that some of its 300 courses be cut. Listen.
We discovered that UWI St. Augustine has over 300 different course offerings. 300. And certainly when GATE was initiated 18 years ago, UWI St. Augustine did not have 300 course offerings. So you have a vast array of different courses in different disciplines, different programs, and you have 17,000 students. So we are of the view that the University of the West Indies needs to look at the courses that they want the government and the country to pay for. We're not going to tell them what courses to put on, but we believe that they need to look at all these courses that they're offering and decide which ones the government should pay for. That's our response to their proposal that they increase tuition fees.
Minister of Education Niang Gasby Dolly also stated that fees at the St. Augustine campus had not increased in 21 years, and that was one of the reasons the institute puts forward to increase fees earlier this year for the academic year beginning in September. Moving along, she admits, or she added, that the committee recommended that the St. Augustine campus do an in-depth course and analyze, looking at all courses they offer. Gasby Dolly added that the government did not support an increase in university fees at this time and would come to a conclusion for next year, 2023 to 2024. Here it is.
In looking at all of the information presented, the committee recommended that the St. Augustine campus do an in-depth cost-benefit analysis and a course efficacy analysis, looking at all the courses they offer, looking at the enrollment, and considering how we can possibly reduce where it is possible. So that information has been requested of the University of the West Indies. Some have been supplied, some information has been supplied, and so we will be compiling all of that to take a closer look at it as we go forward during this academic year. So to sum it up, as the Minister of Finance would have indicated, the government therefore did not support a fee increase at UWI St. Augustine for this academic year 2022-23, but we will consider all of the information that is submitted and then come to a conclusion with the collaboration with the Guild. We will come to that conclusion with respect to years following 2022-2023.
Now viewers, meanwhile, MP Anita Haynes has stated that the government cuts to UWI subvention is a reflection of its decreasing investment in the people of Trinidad and Tobago and a move which further reduces opportunities for the country's youth. According to Haynes, the government seems to be sending mixed messages. But we'll wait and see on the way forward with the gate funding. Health Minister Terence Dial Singh has rejected the views of a group of 9 doctors who, among other things, recently published a joint letter questioning the need for COVID-19 vaccine for children aged 5 to 11 and the actual efficacy of this jab for juvenile. Doctors claimed that any mandating of vaccine would worsen the undigestible atmosphere of fear pervading the lives of some children, parents, and teachers in a current time of low risk. So you hear that? They are saying is against these 9 doctors. Now listen to this. When they had the COVID-19 vaccine throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and they are saying we're inviting adults to come get the vaccine, that's one thing. The second thing is, when they started to have adverse condition of taking the vaccine, the Alsing never came out and alerted Trinidad and Tobago. He never did that. He never did that. Night after night, week after week. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would call in the program live to share their experience with viewers of Real Talk with Saieed Ali about the adverse condition that their friends and their family had after taking the vaccine. The Alsing never admitted that. Never. But he is going against a group of doctors now. Imagine that. And the doctor is saying in a current time of low risk. However, the Alsing denied that the pediatric COVID-19 was mandatory. The Alsing stated that informed consent has to be provided by an individual parent by a way of a signed consent form and described the claims by the 9-member group of doctors as total red herring. Question on if he saw any danger in the pediatric vaccine, the minister added that in the US, tens of millions of children have been vaccinated with no adverse event. Why Terrence didn't come out and say there were no adverse events in Trinidad and Tobago? Why he didn't come out and say that? You see, he could not come out in a press briefing or a media conference and say there were no adverse conditions, because weeks upon weeks, individual called in Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Some even had to fly out to say about their condition. They had to fly out. Imagine that. But they are saying, oh, we have no adverse condition. Tens of millions of students taken. You see, they are saying, you comparing countries, but you're not comparing citizens. And that is your problem. That is your problem. You see, I will tell you something. A Panadine would work for me with a headache, but it wouldn't work for my staff. Understand what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying there, I'll sing. Yes, I understand you are a pharmacist. Yes, I understand you are versed in medicine. But at the end of the day, you have a job. You have a job to come out and address the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you speak the truth or you tell a lie, that is your job. Come out and inform the nation. Whether it's true or not is up to the citizens to believe. But when you have people like Saieed, when you have real talk, bringing the truth to them with video clips and documents, what you going to do? You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. I'm telling you that you can't do nothing. Trinidad and Tobago, we are in a time that we need quick solution for certain problems. We are in a time that we need a quick solution for violence in school. We are in a time where we need a quick solution for crime in Trinidad and Tobago. We are in a time where we need a quick solution for job creation. That is what we need. So viewers, I'll tell you something. It has given me great pleasure to come here every night, serious. Even though I'm a little under the weather, right now I'm sweating. My body burning up, Because of the rain over the weekend, I got the fever. I still have it, but nevertheless, I couldn't stay away from the show. I couldn't stay away from the show. Even though I'm unwell, even though my body burning up, I take medication, I still couldn't stay away. Because why? It gave me great pleasure to come here, even though I'm under the weather, just to educate you. You know why? Because I know from Monday to Friday, from 7 to 8 p.m., you are looking out for Saieed to go live. You are looking out for Saieed. So I just want to remind you, viewers, those of you who are looking for quick cash borrow, as long as you have your collateral, is not a problem. Sign an agreement with me. Remember, I'm a licensed money lender. Those of you who are looking for 3.5, you can still get it. Contact me or my office, 238-6716, 339-1670. We are on 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguners. This week coming, we are going to have our second to last meeting with the credit union, the Commissioner of Credit Union office. I'm going to tell you something, I'm excited. Very soon, Real Talk Credit Union will be birthed in Trinidad and Tobago. I am going to change the way banking is in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? Just for our people. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30, and we'll be right back here on Tuesday, the 7th of June, 2022 for Tune It Up. Until we meet again, good night.